Hello friend, how are you doing today? If you're new here, I'm excited to meet you, and if you're returning, I hope you're having a much better day than the last time that we talked. Today, I just want to focus on what it is that we need to know right now in the moment. I want to remind you that my tarot readings do involve a little bit of shadow work and intuitive messages, so keep that in mind as we move forward with these cards. So Spirit, Universe, what exactly is it that we need to know right now? What is it that is going to help us attain our goal and get us closer to that internal peace and harmony that we're looking for? Okay, I think it was that one and then that one. That felt very important. That order did. I don't want to mess up the order because that was particular. Alright, we have Sacred Divinity. There are two paths ahead. I think that's safe. I don't think I'm going to get demonetized for that. Alright, so Sacred Divinity. There are two paths ahead. This is that reminder that right now, it's not necessarily that you're at a crossroads, because whenever we think of two paths, we think we are at a crossroad where we can go either left or right. What this is this is that reminder that, like, yeah, you can continue on the path that you're on, or you can pivot, you can deviate. The choice is yours. It's never that you always have to continue down the path that you're on. It's that you can always decide to, make a change, to do something different, to allow yourself to say, nope, I don't like this anymore, and then go a different route. So don't think of these two paths as like you only have path A or you only have path B. Think of it more along the lines of like you're on a path, but at any point you can choose a different path if you would like. Then we got Secret Temptation, being led astray. Alright, this card's coming forward and it's telling me that the path that you're on, I'm not saying is wrong, but what I am saying is that the path that seems to be the perfect one or the right one in the sense of like it's flashy and it's going to solve all your problems is probably nothing more than a temptation and you being led astray. Hear me out. This is what I mean by that. There are plenty of products or services or classes out there or gurus who are like, do this for 12 weeks and it will magically make this thing that you want happen. And while their strategies and the tools that they have are probably useful, you need to know that those things worked for them specifically because of how they applied it, and they might not be the right fit for you. So I'm not saying that those things are all a hoax or a scam or anything like that. What I'm getting at here is when we are finding ourselves uncomfortable or wanting change or wanting things to be different, a lot of times we go external and we do what I like to call shiny object syndrome, and we chase the easiest path to achieve our goal. But we never go internal to see what it is that we need, to find out what the core issue really is. So think of it this way. You are trying to, okay, this is going to be a weird metaphor, but follow with me for a second. You are trying to allow yourself to run faster. You're a runner and you have a race and you want to, do a 5K in under 20 minutes, okay? And the idea of you doing this 5K in under 20 minutes, you're like, I can totally do it. Now, also, depending on who you are, 5K under 20 minutes is not realistic. Just follow the metaphor here. You can choose to find the coach who's like, oh, all you need to do is speed training and endurance training, and it will totally solve your problem, and you'll get to that, under 20-minute 5K. Or you can allow yourself to go internal and be like, okay, what is really going on with my body? What can I do that actually helps me? And the truth is your speed training and your endurance training is fine. What isn't okay is your mobility. You needed to stretch more. You needed to eat better. You needed to make sure you stayed hydrated. And doing those things are what actually would help you achieve that goal. But instead, you kept going to different coach, looking for the one that was going to give you the right strategy with speed and endurance, when really it was that you needed to come and focus and needed to see that it was something that you could do for yourself if only you just listened to your own body and gave your body the chance to give you the information. Hidden Realms. create conscious awareness. Okay, so this 100% just goes with that message that I was talking about you needing to go internal. The answer isn't out there. The answer is within you. And hidden realms create conscious awareness isn't going to be this like mysterious like lifting of the veil, or that you're going to start seeing things or hearing things differently. It's literally just you realizing and being observant about yourself, so you can realize and come to truth and honesty about things about yourself. Is there parts of yourself that you're blinded about? Which honestly, that's normal. That is completely 100% normal to be blinded about certain parts and aspects of yourself or your life. Are there things that you're doing very unconsciously, subconsciously, that aren't benefiting you in any way? And when you become the observer, you give yourself the chance and permission to see that and then do something about it. Kundalini rising. Ignite your passion for life. This one's super important because whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to go after, you have to remember the why. You have to remember the reason you wanted to do it to begin with. And your passion is a huge part of that. Your passion is what's going to keep you fed and motivated to continue to move forward when you feel like it's not worth it. I want to go back to the race metaphor that I was talking about, because as a former runner, my body and me and running don't work too well anymore, but as a former runner, I remembered, all of the like excess training that I would do. I remember, the endurance training, the sprint training, like the fast training. I would do all of that. And there were days it was just, I didn't want to. It was hard. It was difficult. But then when I remembered why I wanted to, get this PR, the personal best, the personal record. If I remember why I wanted to, continue to do this, then it would help me on those extra hard days. Because honestly, speed training was not my favorite. I was not a fan of speed training. So speed training is what got me through, or remembering my passion was what got me through speed training. So understand moving forward that the changes that you're wanting to make, the things that you're wanting to do, you need to remember your why for doing it and follow that passion, because that passion is going to get you so much further than anything else. Channel your knowledge. I'm sorry, what does that say? Oh, critical judgment. Okay. The font and the wording and the picture were all like blurred together there. So, critical judgment. This isn't asking you to be self-critical. Honestly, this should say discerning judgment. Because when you are discerning, you are deciding whether or not something is aligned for you, something's right for you. It's real easy to find yourself in, secret temptation. It's real easy to be like, oh, well, this worked for, 30,000 people, so clearly it has to work for me. And I'm just making that number up because I feel like that's what a lot of those programs say, is like, we help so many people. Here's the thing. If it's not aligned for you, if it's not right for you, it's not going to help you. So allow yourself to be discerning. Allow yourself to critically judge whether the thing that you're going after or that you're about to do to obtain your goal is something that is actually worth your investment. And I'm not just talking about financial investment. I'm talking about time and energy investment too. Because finances, they fluctuate, they change, but your time and energy you can never get back. So is the thing that you're about to do, is it worth it? Is it worth the investment? Is it worth the energy investment? Or is it just something that might fix your problem? That might change it? So the cards were telling us that there's, two paths, and to not chase to not chase shiny object syndrome, and to follow our passions. So now I want the tarot cards to give us the information about what it is and where we are now that is holding us back. What limitations or what blocks are keeping us from being able to, see that second path, to go internal, and to get the clear answer and the clear understanding. All right, these cards are all over the place today. Page of Wands. All right, so whatever this change that you're doing, it's new. And anything that's new is going to feel clunky, and it's going to feel awkward, and maybe even a little bit raw. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you are learning a new craft, say it's crocheting or working with wood, or even if you're cooking, if cooking's not something that you're used to doing, or baking, being outside your comfort zone, you're going to be doing things very slowly. You're going to have to think about it, and it's going to feel really awkward. And that is 100% part of the process. That is what every person feels like when they're beginning something new. Every master had to be a beginner. Every master had to fail multiple times, learn from those mistakes, and then that's when they became, intermediate and then to a master. No master got to where they were without failing. No master got to where they are now without feeling uncomfortable and like, this is complicated and can I really do this? And they went through all that and then they continued to work with the craft. So this Page of Wands is coming through and saying, yes, it feels awkward, it's new, it's different, and it's not, easy yet. And that's okay. This isn't one of those times where you go, oh, I'm not good at it right away, and then give up. ADHD, blah, blah, blah. ADHD person, I get it. Been there, done that. But, give yourself time to learn. Give yourself time to practice. Also, wands are about passion, and you were told to follow your passion, to ignite your passion for life. Go with your passion. That's just another reminder right there. Justice. Okay, so this card's coming through with a unique message, and it's here to say that right now things are out of balance, but they're going to get balanced out. Things are going to work out. This card isn't coming through to say that you're going to see some huge, aha moment anytime soon. This card honestly is coming through and showing me that in order for things to balance and even out, you first need to put the effort into yourself. Hear me out. When I say put the effort into yourself, I'm talking about compassion. I'm talking about self-love. I'm talking about self-care. I'm talking about doing something even when you're not good at it, because you know that, being bad at it in the beginning is going to help you get your goal, and it's going to help you get to what you want. This Justice card is coming through and saying that if you want to receive it, you have to put the effort in. It needs to be balanced. And I know that justice is typically a card about law or having things, be fair and even. This is more along the lines of a reminder that if you want to receive the transformation, you also need to do what you need to do in order to make the transformation. This is that reminder that you need to have balance, that you need to keep things, sure-footed is the word that actually came to my brain. Not a saying I typically say, but you need to keep things sure-footed, and you need to keep things moving forward at an even, consistent pace. Ooh, the Devil. So we got Secret Temptation, and then we got the Devil. The Devil comes through and tells me that right now you're in a comfort zone. And the thing about the Devil is I like to talk about diets when we get the Devil here, because if you're on a diet and you're trying to cut candy out of your, diet because it's not healthy for you and you don't need the sugar, I get that. But then the Devil offers you a chocolate bar and you eat it, you blame the Devil for offering you the chocolate bar, not the fact that you're the one that ate it. The Devil didn't shove the chocolate bar in your mouth. You took it and decided to eat it. That was on you. Now let's talk about what a comfort zone is. Because a comfort zone is not you being comfortable and happy and in peace. A comfort zone is the level amount of discomfort you're willing to tolerate. And you don't know what that means? Let me ask you this. How many dishes can stack up into your sink before you wash your dishes? How much garbage can stand in your garbage can before you take out that garbage? How much of your laundry needs to pile up on top of the the laundry, words. How much laundry needs to pile up on the laundry basket before you actually do your laundry? That is a comfort zone. That is the amount of discomfort you're willing to tolerate. So the Devil's coming in here and asking you, what is it that you are willing to tolerate and that you no longer want to tolerate? Are you willing to step outside of that comfort zone? Are you willing to say, okay, I don't like having 10 dishes in my sink. I only like having 4 dishes in my sink. So when it gets to 5 or 6 dishes, I'm going to wash dishes no matter how tired or exhausted I am. Now, yes, you want self-care, but also we need to make sure that we are putting the effort into changing our comfort zone, to pushing the boundaries, to pushing our own zone, so that way we know we're making the progress and putting the work in to obtain the goal that we were working for. Oof, change. Okay, so yes, this card's called Death, but like, you're really being called to make a change here. And when I get the Death card, it's telling me that you are being asked to let go of things. You're being asked to let go of things that might feel like your identity. You're being asked to let go of things that might be, routine or comfort or easy. You're being asked to let go of thoughts that are no longer serving you, of identities that are holding you back, of labels that aren't even right for you, of, defense mechanisms that are completely outdated. This change is not meant to, just be small. When I have the Death card in its upright position, this is change on a big scale. And this is change that you want. It's not being forced upon you. You want it. But in order to receive it, you need to let go of things. 8 of Cups. Literally the card about letting go of things. And this card is literally you walking away from the 8 cups here that are no longer serving you, because you decided that materials aren't worth it anymore and that you want to go internal to find true happiness. What do I mean by materials aren't worth it? I'm not saying that you don't need a house and clothes, because we do. We 100% need that. What I'm saying is you realize that, you getting that new car is not really what's going to make you happy. You getting the in-ground pool is not really going to be the source of your happiness. Your happiness has to come from inside. Your happiness has to come from internal. Your contentment, your peace, your solitude, all of that has to come inside of you. And when it's already inside of you, your external conditions can change just because the internal you is like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make do with this. I'm going to make the best of this that I can. I'm going to create what I want to create. The 8 of Cups is also about, turning away from societal standards or external pressures from loved ones or family members who want you to live a certain way, but it's not your way to live. A classic example of this is your family wants you to be a doctor because you have a family practice and you're supposed to be the one that takes over the family practice, but instead you want to be a musician. This card is saying, you know what? I'm not a doctor, I'm a musician, and I'm going to go after that. I'm curious as to what our next steps are. What is it that is going to help us get out of this comfort zone, that's going to help us remember our passion, that's going to help us carry forward as we go through, the clunkiness and awkwardness of, being new at something. Dancing on one foot, balancing act. So that really goes with what Justice here was trying to say. That's just more confirmation that it's about you finding the balance. It's about you creating the balance. And it's about you dancing on one foot. Like literally, if you think about it, you're actively doing something to create something. And then you're going to find yourself in balance. So that is honestly just more. Oh, that's actually a 9 card too. Okay, I want to talk about the number 9. I normally don't pay attention to the numbers with these cards, but also 9 is a card that says that, you're ending completion, that you're almost there. It's literally like the persistence card where you just have to push a little further and then you're going to get what you want. And I'm not saying that, you're at the end of your journey. Don't get my message confused here. What I am saying, though, is the fact that we have balancing act and dancing on one foot along with Justice, that's telling me that this is a persistence thing. That if you continue to push through, you will find that transformation that you want. It's up to you how much work you put into it. But I know that if you continue to move forward, you will find completion coming to you sooner than later. Lost in space, needing direction. It's funny that I asked the cards for next step, and they're like, yeah, you're just gonna be, lost in space, needing direction. Hear me out, though. There's a clear message here. And that is, when we feel lost, we really tend to go external. And, sometimes going external has its benefits, because when you go external, sometimes you can find out things that you don't want. And sometimes finding out what you don't want is more informational than finding out what you do want. Which, I get, it sounds counterintuitive, but just trust me on that one. Lost in space and needing direction is you just kind of admitting and being honest about the fact that you really don't know how you're going to get there, and that's okay. You don't need to know the how, you just need to know the next step. But also, go inward. When you don't know what the next step is, when you don't understand what direction to go, just go inward. Because if you're going to keep going external, you're going to keep finding yourself in really weird places where sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, where some of the things apply, but not all of the things, where some of the things help, and it's going to feel loud, it's going to feel chaotic. If you go internal, you're going to find the path of least resistance. Those cards are being weird. New beginnings. Ooh, I like this. So, Moon Maidens, new beginnings. Another reason I like this is because if you're watching this around the time I'm recording it, we have the full moon and the eclipse. And talk about new beginnings. So this is just more confirmation that what you're going on is a journey, and that yes, this is new and it's supposed to feel uncomfortable and different. Not the whole journey, but in the beginning specifically. And then you're going to have moments of ease, and then you're going to have moments of discomfort, ease and discomfort. That's part of the balance. Moon Maidens coming through and saying, just like how the moon has its phases, how it's got the full moon, the new moon, it wanes and it waxes, you're also going to go through phases. You're going to find that some points are easier, some things are difficult. You're going to have periods of a lull where you're just doing something and you're like, why am I doing it? I'm just putting in repetition. Yeah, repetition and consistency is what makes the change. I like to talk about when I crochet. I don't care what project it is. When you crochet, you get to this what's called this middle part. And the middle part is where, you're making a difference on your project because you can see that the yarn ball is getting smaller, but you don't feel like your project is getting any bigger. But it is. And the smaller that yarn ball gets, the more yarn you're using, the bigger your project's getting, but it gets you closer to the finish. So understand that those reps that you put in is just that middle period where you're just like, where's the change? Where's the difference? The change and the difference is going to be subtle, and it's going to be internal, and it's not going to be visible external yet. You got to get through that middle part. A tidy house. Clarity and organization. Also, number 1, new beginnings. Sorry, more confirmation. So I asked, literally what I did ask was, next steps. What is it that we can do? Here's the easiest answer for you. Start at your home. Start cleaning your house. Start organizing things. Start getting rid of things. Start realizing what's serving you, what's not serving you. This is going to help and make more transformation in your life than anything else that you can do. And it's going to surprise you. And you're going to be like, that's silly and I don't believe it. That's fine. But science has proven that your external environment heavily influences your internal thought process. So if you can get your external environment to be just a little bit cleaner, a little bit more organized, a little, less decluttered, if you can do that, imagine what that's going to do for you on the internal. Imagine how much clarity that's going to bring you. You can argue with me on this one, but science has already proven that. And the fact that this is a 1 on here, which is 1's all about beginnings, new beginnings, and we've had the death card, we've had literally new beginnings, we've had, there are 2 paths, which is asking you to pivot. We got the page here, which is all about newness. Understand that right now, you're at a beginning. Even if you feel like you've been doing this for a minute, even if you feel like you've been doing it for a while, something in you is changing and starting to realize what it is that you actually need to be doing, and that's the new thing. I just want to ask for some encouragement now, because you've been told some information that is a bit difficult, and I want to just have something that help us move forward. We're gonna do these 2 cards first because they completely flipped over. Compassion. Embrace others' differences. Accept your own imperfections. This one's big because the card that talked about the hidden realms, the, create conscious awareness. When you realize, new blind spots, new areas where you can create growth, when you realize that, oh, I don't like this much about me and I wish I would do it differently, have compassion in those moments to know that, yeah, I've been doing it this way for so long and it's not helping me. Have compassion in those moments. Realize that, okay, that was how it worked for me. That's what helped me get to the level of success that I'm at now. And it's okay that I don't want to do that anymore and move forward. When it says embrace others' differences, I want to point out to you that, embracing other people is way easier than embracing ourselves, unfortunately. But that's not what I'm getting at. When I talk about others' differences, when other people go through something similar to what you're going through, think about how much compassion you're willing to give them, and then ask yourself why you're not willing to apply that same compassion. And if you tell me it's because you should know better, that's not a good reason. Because the truth is, if that other person deserves that compassion, you also deserve that compassion from yourself. Confidence. Believe in your abilities and worth. Okay, well, it actually says believe in your worth and abilities, but whatever. I read it backwards. And I said it with confidence. The point here is you need to believe in yourself. And I know believing in yourself can be really hard. I struggled with this for years, but it is one of the biggest tools that is going to help you move forward. With that being said, if your belief in yourself wavers, that's okay, because that is actually part of the process. To believe in yourself 100% always and every time is a rare gift that I don't possess, and I don't know other people possess it either. But if you can believe in yourself 90% of the time, heck, even 80% of the time, that is going to transform your life so much better than the amount that you probably believe in yourself now. And if you need help with that, go ahead, say something in the comments, and I will, tell you in truth that you can do this and that you have the ability to do it. Talking about the comments, connection. Stay connected with others, nature, and the universe. So if you need help with connection too, comments. But connection is more than just the comment section of my video. Connection is you being open and honest with others, being vulnerable, and letting people know what you're doing and what you're going for. And if you don't feel like you can do that with other people yet, find connection with spirit, with universe, with animals, with nature, trees, plants, whatever you have around you. Talk to something. Make your relationship with something. When I talk about relationship, I'm talking about like a conversational relationship. I'm not talking about anything crazy here. But I know people who talk to trees because when they talk to trees, they feel, better. I used to talk to my father at his grave all the time because that was a place where I could be completely myself and I felt better. Find a way for you to be able to be completely honest and open with something or somebody and allow that connection to nurture and help you grow. Balance. In case you need more confirmation that balance is really important here. Justice, dances on one foot, and now this card literally is called balance. Find balance to maintain harmony in relationships. First and foremost, the balance in a relationship that needs to be balanced the most is the relationship you have with yourself. You're like, Kirsten, how can I have a relationship with myself? Okay? Are you self-critical or are you loving towards yourself? Do you treat yourself with kindness and compassion, or do you say you should know better? Do you put you first, or do you put other people's needs before your own and then neglect yourself? If you wouldn't treat yourself the way that you treat, the way you treat yourself, if you wouldn't treat others that way, why are you treating yourself that way? And here's the thing, you're going to be like, what does that have to do with being in a relationship? Your relationship with yourself is how you treat yourself. That is your relationship. What you do for yourself, how you act around yourself, what you say to yourself, and then what you do and give yourself credit for and not credit for, that is your relationship with yourself. So let's find balance within ourselves. And then when we find balance within ourselves, we will find that balance with our other relationships happens naturally. And here's the thing. This journey is going to be a little bit tedious. It's going to be a little bit tiring, but it's going to also be exhilarating when you realize how this is going to benefit you and the fact that you are able to get that goal. And I know you're able to get to what you're going for. I know you're able to make the change. Why do I know that? Because you have listened to every word in this video, and your heart knows on a deep level that you are meant to succeed. And if you can't believe it right now, if you can't have the confidence in yourself, I honestly believe you can do it too. And I'm not saying this lightly. Your ability to listen and to take all this in, everything that I've given you, has proven that you want this more than anything and that you're going to do it. So just trust yourself that you're going to do it and start doing it. Start seeing that second path. Start finding that balance. Start having the compassion. Start remembering your why. Start living in passion. And realize that yes, things are going to change, but you're ready for it. You're ready for it, and I cannot wait to hear your success story. I love you. I'm here for you. And I really can't wait to see you again soon. Bye-bye.